Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Mo tán díẹ̀ tààmú mu yẹn, mo ṣàbájẹ́ fún ẹ̀mọ́ ìdí ìjọ ẹ̀. Bila lo kan yo. Ka go so duro. Hey. Awaye. Ati o wa. Yao. Abila lo kan yo. Bibi to jogba yi. Bibi to nọmba. Ma ti si mo kan yo. Ma ja jiji. Ouais, t'es jamais forcé. Si tu connais. L'animateur Choco, Nosca, Yassin de Toyebi. L'homme a tout fait pour Mivito. Aniché les deux.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people. Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
L'Amérique a pas loupé yo. Quand il y a Sylvie, il a quoi que j'ai loupé prince. L'Amérique a pas loupé. T'as bien de moi avec moi nous deux. En ce moment, on va battre au moins. Mon temps dit t'as mon ça va bien pour moi il toi. Là le yo. Quand on soit du là. Allez. Awaye, Achiro, Yao, Abela Lokeyo, Nivito Jobai, Nivito Noma, Martis Mopeyo, Manager Gigi, when they jamais forcé ou, si tu connais. L'animateur Choco Nostra Yassin de Toyebi, l'homme a tout fait pour Nivito, Aniché les deux.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights.
Good evening, folks. Samson to Liberal Public Radio. We want to thank all of you again tonight for tuning into Liberal Public Radio. Wonderful thing to have here. I would say thank you, brothers and sisters. Please share this video to as many people as possible. It is very, very important that we share this video. Mandam Fatuma, thank you. Thank you for joining us again tonight. But I asked for your picture there. I can't get it. I don't want to go on your. Of course, I'm friend with both of you, but I don't want to just go and take any picture that I like and put it up. So I want you to give me. If you can't send me the picture, you're giving permission. I can put picture up because I really like the way you're supporting us in the place. It's unbelievable, and I really like to. Essentially, you will not want to come on air. I really like to do the thing here to make sure Liberian people and everybody that watching us to know that we got supporters, we got our sisters there who are supporting us in whatever we do. And they are not ashamed of us. And that's what I keep saying to you and Sister Esther, to see if you can send me the picture, you're giving permission, I will go on and collect the picture there. So thank you, Jerry. I will be coming to you very shortly. Let me do this. Thank you. Safety, Lord Jesus. We want to thank you again this evening. As we come before you, Lord, we come with clean heart and clean heart. We ask that you forgive us our sin. We ask that you forgive everything bad that we have done. We're not worthy. Because of you, we're here. And whatever we do that is not in the interest and not in the name and it's not of you, we ask for forgiveness as well. My Lord, as Liberian, we come again tonight to ask you, bless our country. Bless the Republic of Liberia. Bless the people of the Republic of Liberia. Bless the President of the Republic of Liberia. Give him long life. Whatever he touches, my Lord, open doors and bless his hand to do what is in the interest of the Liberian people. My Lord, we ask that you bless the host country, the United States of America. Amen. So, folks, Samson told Liberal Public Radio, before I go on anything else, let me do my little tabata here. Our own daughter, the wife of our own son, Sister Goya, as you see, the Metro State University alumni. Madam, thank you, yeah. Thank you. You were the man, the book man. But you say, "Lord, my man, yeah. And now you are who no book, man, say I no book." Oh, yes. Thank you for everything. We appreciate it. You, all of you and Sister continue to make us proud. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Continue to do hard work the way you're doing it. You've got a beautiful family, and we'll continue to put you guys in our prayer as well. Thank you. I just want to show this picture. I called him earlier. I said, Sister, I see my daughter picture. He said, no, don't put it up. I said, why? He said, God, I want you. I said, I'm putting it up. No, I'm just making it up. You see, I can start trouble. You see, I can start trouble. But anyway, no, Sister, he said, yeah, Pa, you can put it up. He gave me permission. So thank you, my sister. Thank you very much. Continue to do what you can do. Our children, girls, those of us that have girl kids are also looking up to people like you to say you have family, but you can achieve this higher degree of educational level as well. Thank you, my sister. Thank you very much. Again, Samson told Liberal Public Radio. Let's go ahead. Let me talk my Tabata, which is Naple. Victor, where were they Victor Smith and Alfonso So business? What's going on here? Victor, I thought you were supposed to be my friend. Victor Smith, I thought you were supposed to be only my friend. Where were they Alfonso business? Forget about it, man. I'm your friend. Yeah, man, you're making me sweating outside. Every day you can. Hi, yeah, listen to this. Hello, Mr. To, and hope Mr. So is going to come. What? This is not Mr. So. I will block him tonight. He's not coming out. They may not coming out. The men not coming out. What kind of business is that? Anyway, y'all give me a few seconds. Give me a few seconds. Give me a few seconds. Samson to Labra Radio. Victor Smith, you get me confused. I muted myself and I'm talking. Yeah, man. Oh, Victor Smith. That Samson told you, and then you say, Alfonso, so your best friend? Victor Smith. Minister Smith. Okay, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. That you don't know Alfonso, eh? Okay, all right. That your best friend? All right, okay. But anyway, folks, welcome. Mr. Smith, thank you. If you care, you want me to send you the link to join us again tonight, we can do that as well. And I really do appreciate your support as always. Thank you very much, folks. Let me see if Jerry in the bag now. Okay, he is. Let me bring it on while I do my tabata. Jerry, thank you for joining us. Tonight, I don't have much tabata. The only tabata I got here tonight, I'm tired. I'm not regretting. I'm not regretting, but I'm just tired, to be honest with you. I'm just completely tired. I'm getting ready to send a text to the folks that invited me on ELBC because I can't go on a show and not be able to be myself. And this government, the people around this president, they're not listening. I'm just tired. I can't come here every night and tell Mr. So say that your business. Go sue us. How many times we say oh tabatati and then I must say a human being. I'm tired. Every day we come on for one whole year. Some of the good things that is happening in this president administration, we can't even talk about it. We're not talking about it. Do you know now there's paving, even though I don't agree with the paving matter, but the quota are going somewhere. We're not even talking about it. Every day. Who's stealing? Our President Bakai is really the democracy, strength of the democracy of the Republic of Liberia. And then we'll come back here, we got to defend it. Then the president said, then I'll come back. How many times I'll be honest? You think I want to score? The football game we're playing here, you think I say I want to score? I'll just be defending all day. I'll just be defending all day. I'm tired, my people. Yeah, Mr. Smith, let me send you the link. I tell you, I'm tired, to be honest. I'm tired. So tonight, I don't have much to say. Let me turn it on to Jerry. I'm tired, my people. I'm just tired. I'm not going to say from now on until they start doing something good, as long as I don't have no good report to do. Rose said, I will not talk about road business again. When I come here, that's so Tabata will be talking. I will not talk about the government. I'll not talk about President Bakai. I'm not going to talk about anybody. I'll just come here. And if real total business game my head, I go on the other platform where me alone there, me and myself, just play music all day. I'm tired, my people. I'm tired. I'm just completely exhausted, to be honest with you. Every time we take this administration is worse than CDC. I can't say they put their, I can't say that because this is my father. Like the CDC used to put their foot in about man. I can't say that. I can't say that because I'm my father. But I'm tired, my people. Yeah, Mr. So you can take the picture. I'm tired. I put my hand on my head. I say I'm tired. until they can do something good that people will be able to be proud of. I'm proud of them. But there's nothing, they're not giving me the opportunity to defend them. They're not giving me the opportunity to say, this is what this president have done. Listen, you remember during the campaign, when the president gave a speech, and he would say, I need all Liberians' hand on deck, and I will be on my show dancing and playing it over and over. I can't, why am I going to say they want? The majority group, the minority group, social confusion, nothing good. Protest coming again tomorrow. You think the international community now watching? Attire, man, attire. Jared, take it away, please. Well, I send a link to Mr. So. Did I say Mr. So? I saw Tire. I'm confusing. I send a link to Peter Smith, who was saying, I'm a friend anymore. I send a link to him. Jared, take it away, please.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How you doing, folks? Wonderful to be back. The child from B&W is back. Today, I think I put in the chat room. I was able to receive my certificate for the advocacy for my writing. Ghana, basically the first Liberian to receive that award. I think Mr. To, you can put it up there. That's fine. Put it in the chat room. So.
That tomorrow, I'll put it up, my brother. I didn't see it, to be honest with you. I'll put it up tomorrow for sure.
It's in the chat room, but anyway, that's fine. I'm proud of Liberian Public Radio to give me the platform to be here. Shouldn't get tired, my brother. We got 6 years to go. Everything we do in life from the beginning is not easy. And it will be successful. It is successful. The one thing that I would like to say is the publication, those who speak on behalf of the president. We're not speaking in unison. We got different people talking, go on different platforms and talk, and sometimes they say something that's irrelevant. But this is a serious matter for tomorrow. No matter whether that 2% or 3% going to do the demonstration. Before I come to the demonstration on the national security issue, but here's the thing: the president of Republic of Liberia went to the ECOWAS Parliament and he spoke about one currency in West Africa. That West Africa should be able to fund reasoning to have a one currency that will expedite the productivities, interstate commerce.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I wanted that World War III for Africa. No Krogo GPU around up there, all my chef, one currency, that World War III. World War III.
Well, at least the idea is there. It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. So these are things that the president is making, and it being overshadowed because of certain behavior within his government. And hopefully, let's see what happens in 2025. Maybe he will consolidate the government and maybe reshuffle.
Mr. Smith, excuse me, Jerry, please forgive me. Mr. Smith, if you're listening, this link is out there. Go ahead, Jerry, please.
And hopefully the president will do some reshuffle, found reason to do it. Well, I mean, there's issues that antagonize us and to tie our hands, but nevertheless, that's part of politics. In politics, it's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's not propagated. So for that reason, don't get discouraged. I will encourage you vividly and to make sure you stay on board, because temptation going to come. And when God called Moses and said, Moses, I want you to take my people to the promised land, God never told him, say, look, listen.
Terry, please do that one with Terry. Let Terry, that on your area, do the security.
No, hey, listen, I'm a man who set a conflict. You want to set a conflict, you have to know it. You got to know the 3 religions. I asked you last time. There are 3 things that rule the world: gun, government, and government, gun. Yeah, okay. I forgot the other one, but that's it. and God. Yeah. So that's it. These are the three things, the 3G. So someone who studied human behavior and studied criminology, and these are things we have to know what caused it. But
So, okay.
go ahead, sir.
Mr. Smith is on. Mr. Smith, if you're ready for me to bring you in, put your thumb up and we'll bring you in. Thank you. All right, Mr. Smith is on. So thank you very much.
You gotta adjust it a little bit so you can be up a little bit. So
yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's perfect. Perfect.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Minister Smith, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
No, but Victor, you got to turn the camera to the ceiling a little bit because when you bend like that, then your hair cut off. There we go.
Okay,
there we go. Thank you. Right there. That's fine.
Perfect.
So thank you, Minister Smith. Thank you for joining us.
So let me learn. So the minister can go in. So these are things like tomorrow. Somehow we live it when we're little, we're young. We live it, we saw it. 1979, the demonstration that changed the trajectory of our country today, 79. That young man, out of high school, tried to find a job. And I went on the academy. I was on the academy when this happened. April 14, April 12, and all these things. So folks, the demonstration, from my perspective, what I know or what I have studied, it's not something to tell you like that when people say they're going to do the demonstration. You didn't know the strength, where the supporter is coming from, how it's going to work, whether the government is ready to be able to be proactive or be reactive. And you didn't know the strength and which direction they're going to come from, whether communication is going to be available. So there are a lot of things, whether the hospital is ready. So whether the hospital is ready for all these things that you got to anticipate, whether the hospital is ready to accommodate it, just in case people are going to get hurt, the emergency room, how many hospitals do we have? So there's a lot of preparation for what I have been trained. But anyway, so these are things, hopefully we pray that tomorrow it will be peaceful. And Liberia is going through a transformation. For the past 20-some years now, we have been using the post-war. We are just going to democracy in our country. Hopefully, all these things, it's relevant. We're making a transformation into our country. Demonstration every day. That's part of democracy. Thank you. Let me pause. I got a lot of stuff on my mind today.
Thank you.
Tonight.
Thank you. We'll get to that. But tonight, you pretty much on your own. Because I'm tired, to be honest with you. I'm just tired. Let me bring in Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, thank you for joining us. I know you're one of the hardworking Liberian citizens during the campaign. You were here and there, getting involved, heavily involved. In fact, you were on one of those, I believe, you were on one of those, how to call it? What's the name of the group what's the name of the group that engineer group here, lawyer group here? What do you call them again? So but anyway, whatever group that is, you were at the top of that in the engineering sphere, and so you've been working hard. You work hard for this government to come to power. You live in Liberia. I live here in Sacramento. So my tabata, it will not be as strong as your amen. Jesus.
Wait a minute. Now you know God. Whether they get a hospital, hey, get dedicated one hospital, you worry about who they're going to care to.
But who bring it on board again tonight? Jesus. I'm got somebody. I'm interviewing somebody, Mr. So.
Mr. Smith, good morning.
Good morning. My apology, man.
But they're not trying to cross talk on my show. We can't have that. We will not have that. I will mute you. I will mute you. You can't have a cross talk on my show. That is unacceptable. But let me
so the dictator. That's a violation of the main human rights.
You get power. I get power, you.
Yes, freedom of speech.
No, but
you can't
seriously,
limit the man.
seriously, Mr. Smith, let me come to you. As I open my stuff, I said I'm completely tired. But my Tabata, as I stated here in Sacramento, is not as strong as you in the street or in Monrovia. What do you think is happening with this government? 1 year in office, we got people threatening demonstration. 1 year in office, the speaker Saka. 1 year in office. All of these things that honor his excellency, the person who all of us believe have the experience that these things were never going to happen honor him. I mean, the word never is not the real word, but most likely were never going to happen honor him because of a year of experience. That when he see these things in the fireplace, he will be able to quiet it down and stop these things. What's going on, Victor, from your perspective this evening?
Thank you again, Mr. Toe, for the opportunity given me most of the time to appear on your show. In this public manner, I want to express my sincere apology to you, Mr. So. I promised to be on your show, but I fell off and I just missed the time. So I will make that up with you.
You remember fasting so you can't appear. Can you imagine?
And again, sincerely, I leave early this morning on Air Morocco. I'm heading to the US. For the next 2 weeks, I'll be in the US and hope to return before the year ends. So I want to express my sincere thanks to Larry. You guys are doing tremendously good job by informing our people. But you know, the difference is that you guys are not on the ground to get the first-hand information. You are just relaying things what the newsmakers are relaying to you or by somebody else's ears. But not like us, we are here. I woke up this morning and I was out again and about. You know, I expected a lot and I still have high hope and expectation from this government. I think the government needs to buckle up. 1 year is already gone. And we have 5 more years to see what they have. I've been talking to some friends, I asked them what is the development agenda for this administration. They told me that they have written that particular document, but it has not been released to the public. So I asked him when they release it, please let me have a copy so I can see what the Joseph Boakai administration has for us. But you talk about the situation on the ground. I think in this game of chess in Liberia, we the citizens and taxpayers are the pawns. Government government gets broke. They beat on us, they take money from us. But yet and say the money is not directed to our good. It's directed to the good of our leaders, which makes it bad. And this is not new to this country, but it has to stop. If the citizens start to stand up and use the medium of the law and the country's constitution, some of these things will be put in place. We know the level of illiteracy in this country is very, very high, but yet and still common wisdom and understanding can change the dynamics of our time. So yes, Samson, these are the things we have faced on a daily basis. Okay, before I close.
Let me ask one more question.
Mhm.
And I know who you are, so I'm not. There's no secret about it. You are an employer, employing Liberians. You are a businessman doing business in Liberia. You pay taxes, and I was wondering, with those kinds of money coming out of you going back to the coffers of the Liberian government. You stated earlier they beat on you for money. Do you think whatever little stuff that the government is doing presently, is it enough for the amount of taxes and money that is being collected in our country? Just, I'm not talking about getting help from the international community, but I'm talking about the revenue that is being raised in Liberia from Liberians. Is it enough to do what it's supposed to do to make sure Liberians get the at least a decent living condition with the whatever amount of money, tax money that they're collecting?
It's not how much money you have, but it's how well you manage it. With the little taxes we are collecting, if government going to be using it right, and the kitchen table issues are being taken care of, I think we can go a long way. It's about time now that the government pay us back what we put into it. So if you do that, then we'll start feeding it. Other than that, the money they collect, it goes straight into upkeeping our officials of government. And I told you the last time when I was on radio, the vehicle that are just in both the vice president and the president's convoy, they can supply almost a month's drugs for JFK, or even put that into a tax return that will come back to us who are business people or entrepreneurs that are trying to make it.
So I don't mean to interrupt, but let me push you on this one. Because, you know, when I was in Liberia, many of the young people that work for you, when you say, I'm going on the radio, everybody would say, Mr. Toll, tell Mr. Smith, we don't want you on the radio. You might not go there. Because everybody knows you speak your mind. However, Mr. Smith, you being a former member of the previous government on a higher level, you have people that you know that are insider of this government. I'm not going to call names or what have you. When you guys meet one-on-one, can you tell us some of your conversation with those people if you care to tell us? Those that you think you can divulge here tonight. And are they listening? These are your friends. Some of whom really, really close friends, brothers to you. I know that. And I know these people. Are they listening to you?
They themselves are frustrated.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, thank you. That's the question. That's the answer. I don't want you going further than that. I know who you are. So let's leave it as that. You just
but don't you ask the question, they are frustrated.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, Victor.
Some
Let's
say
leave
I don't
it.
want that.
No,
I won't take this.
No, I don't want any other answer. That's good. That's good. Mr. So, thank you for joining us. And tonight, the same thing you do to me. Folks, there's a Samson to the barman shaka laughing like this. Mr. So, good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm happy to have you on. And what's on your mind? Mr.
So, wait a minute. I was listening. I just want to make sure. Did I hear you saying you were tired and Jerry were trying to...
Why we got to go back there? They just reinvigorated me. I'm ready again. I'm back on. I'm not tired again. Stop, see, please. That liquor talk. What's on your plate, sir? Jerry came here. Jerry told me plainly. He said, Samson told this in a public manner. I will tell you that don't get tired. So I'm not tired again. That's what I'm looking for from my body. That's why you have friends who, when you're down, they push you up. So thank you, Jerry. So I'm not tired again. So please, that statement will not move me. That liquor talk. What's on your plate?
Okay, it's good, Jerry. I resuscitated you.
No, but on a very serious note, Mr. So let me put this up again. You're the CEO. Perhaps you can speak to that. Say wife, I believe graduated from this university today, and they put the stuff up, and I just put that up. So
Oh
If
yeah,
you
that's the quality. This is what set us apart with other institutions, people advancing. I say congratulations. I didn't even see that today. I just no, I saw it. I late this evening too. But we want to say congratulations to the madam. And I was there. It's some really nice tabagi. That tabagi when the
Dara
mention
mi who say oh, Dara mi who say you it will want to go. Dara mi who say so that you say so now. So say plenty thank you now. Because you ate Tobagi. So say plenty thank you to her.
well, I think you always been there. But look, the major issue I had in the country, and like what Minister Smith said, I mean, the frustration just engulfed the entire country. And you guys try to put an iron face here as if it is okay. But go, Mr. Barkham, because he told me that he been since all day today. He told me I'm tired. I don't want to come. I don't know what to say. Like if you have something to say. Do not run away from crisis. You created a crisis. When the crisis comes, you have to continue it. Don't put all into a situation that we're supposed to say we are tired. But look, like what the minister said, I mean, it's just not a really surprise because I saw this coming, saw it coming in the sense that the hand loss, the same thing that happened with President Weah. Some of the hand loss around the old man, the president, we know that they didn't mean well. They were just doing these things because they wanted their way through, and they just thought that, and for some reason, I don't know why they are allowed to do what they are doing, because they are led the president in so many wrong directions. And it becomes defiant and brave and argumentative, arguing. They are doing what they're doing. We saw what these similar people did to President Weah when they were making wrong choices. When everything was okay with this president, they has become worse. Typical example, so the disaster that unfolded yesterday with the vice president. How many times we will say this here that any government that does not have a coherent message, that does not know how to sharpen her message, is not just only to the country itself. You picture yourself, you make yourself little or nothing to the diplomatic world. See what happened yesterday. And I'm going to speak to it. Look, the Unity Party-led government and President Joseph Boyka are currently in the locker room of Stanton Waterspoon, and there's no way that they're going to get out of that. And that will lead them into a much bigger problem. That's what happens if you allow, and he boasts of it every time, and we were giving the credit that somebody just called the sitting vice president of a sovereign nation, the number 2 president of the Republic of Liberia, and just throw you on the phone. And he himself alluded, hey, just put me on the phone. Are you a child that put you on the phone and you have no idea the point of conversation, yet you allow this guy to drag you into something? Amen. This is bad. This is bad.
Thank you.
And hold on, it's not thank you, Benny. I know you are frustrated. I'm not responsible for your frustration. I should be more frustrated than you because you are part of what we got ourselves into today.
Thank you. Let me bring in Jerry. Thank you. Jerry, like I said, thank you for bringing me back again.
Yes, the end the two.
Oh, you finish. If they play, it went down there somewhere else. No, he went somewhere else.
Where is he going? But if you want to be controlling,
you drag me,
be controlling or that way, then I think we both should leave.
Yeah, no.
Should we leave?
So Jerry said I should make my last comment.
Jerry, you say Jerry is a co-host. Jerry,
it ain't going. I ain't speaking mine.
Look, you got. You see, this is the.
You just silent people.
This is why I wish the president can have people like Jerry type around him, because Jerry is not a person who just wants to listen to what he wants to hear. He listens to things that he doesn't want to hear, and then he capitalized on that to make good judgment. It's not like you, so forget it. So I felt bad yesterday that Jeremiah Kuhn, who is the vice president, will allow Stanton Witherspoon, and not just only him. I've seen that happening with minister, lawmaker, 2-3% will be what kind of professional world that somebody just call you and you just jump on the phone radio program. When you see Wolf Blitzer and all of these people they are doing, there is a prior arrangement before they come, before you interview top officials. They give you a picture of what you're going to talk about, not necessarily a question, but the substance of the conversation. But this vice president, whether he came from in the bathroom or he coming from swallowing you or whatever, they just call him and he just called me and put me on the phone. So were you forced to speak, to talk? See, how I don't think the president slept good, because imagine if it was a sort of international cable wire. I don't get it. So these people, all of these staff force they have, it's serious, and we got to find time to talk about it. And Jeremy knows exactly what I'm talking about. These people have, some of them have more than 10, 15 people. So where is the public relations officer? Where is the press secretary? Where is the chief of staff? And even it's not
That was
a
an
crime when
impromptu.
Yeah, when the media, but even if the question is depending on the nature of the day, you have the right. It can be a CNN and tell them I will get back to you in a timely fashion. You're not forced to say
experience. It can be experience.
Thank you. Let me go to Jerry.
Experience.
Oh man, it's so hurtful.
Thank you, Jerry. Let me come to you before I go back to.
Before you go to Jerry.
Yeah.
Mr. So struck a very important point. When you are at the highest position in the country, you just not only represent yourself, you collectively represent the citizens and the country. So people can just call you on talk show, and you start to talk, because you can make error. And that error, the interviewer can capitalize on that, even opposition capitalize on that. So, Mr. Right, I think that was a misstep. He should have thought twice before answering Stanton. But howbeit, it has happened, and I hope that he will not repeat it for himself and for the nation.
Thank you. Thank you. What I want to say on that before I go to Jerry is that I think the whole thing, perhaps Stanton didn't do us good job either as a country. Even if Vice President Kuhn is your friend, you're talking national issues, and I think Stanton should have known better than to place a call to the Vice President. And I don't know whether he wants to prove how much connection. Nobody who's going to doubt Stanton connection.
Mr. Paul, let me make a point here. It's important that we talk about that here, because this is very dangerous for the country. We understand, we know how much this gentleman invested into the coming to power of the Unity Party government. He shouldn't take that as an advantage. He says it every day. It's good to be connected, but part of what he's doing is to validate his network that is in close contact with the establishment, and that's a good point to make, because any minute, any time, any hour when he calls, they pick up his phone. So we getting to the point of Donald Trump and Putin now, or another Elon Musk with President Joe Biden, that anything this guy, he just call the president or say something and they just spontaneous.
So, Mr. So, like I was saying, I believe Stanton Witherspoon should not have called the vice president. However, it has happened. There's so many. There's so many. Mr. So, you spoke your own. Mr. So, you talk, and I didn't say anything.
No, but why would you say you shouldn't call the vice president?
Mr. So, I have the right to say what I want to say. This is not Total Radio. I can say whatever I want to say.
Out of
Mr.
our
Story, allow
system.
him to go. Let him go
Exactly,
ahead.
exactly. This is how detective tendency he has it as a CEO of FBI.
That's not right. You are dictator in its highest definition, so don't carry to Mr. So.
Okay, but no, on a very serious note, I think as I was saying, Stanton Witherspoon, the fact that he's connected, which we all appreciate. I give you an example. Few days ago, there was a rumors going around that he won't be on the radio for a while. I felt bad because this young man is really helping us to understand the operational function of government and the corrupt behavior of each one of these government entities. He's helping us, but to use that opportunity, let me bring in Terry, to use that opportunity as that to be able to bring in the vice president, I thought perhaps he went a little bit too far, but that's fine. We will move on. Jerry, let me bring you in, and I want you to tie this thing before we move to another subject matter. And I'll be bringing Terry in here very shortly. I want you to help us tie this thing in from a national security perspective, because that's all your job is on this platform anyway.
Okay, thank you. Here's the thing. There's something called security and press, and people have to know this thing, especially when you're in a government, and there are certain sensitivities issues that you deal with as a government, and the press is their responsibility. But at the same token, it's also is a responsibility of national security. That not everything that you're going to respond to because of the president, because of the sensitivity of what's going on. I believe, I will agree with Mr. So, if they call you, you have to know the magnitude of that call to be able to respond. And I listened to every guy was breaking yesterday when the vice president was talking to Spoon. You can receive the call, but you can refuse why it's in the call. And as a vice president, when you speak, people listen to you. People analyze it. I think I get enough feedback. Somebody's mic is open.
Go ahead.
People analyze it. And those of us who study this thing, when you're speaking, we give up they call it a step of which of God I'm going to do. Thank you. And for the sitting vice president, somebody pick up the phone and call you. Look, it's just simple answer you can give. You know what? I'll get back to you on the topic that you asked for. I will get back to you. It's simple. You know what? Even if they are calling on surprise on the issue, but at the same time, you as the vice president, you have a responsibility and obligation. The same way we are here. We have the obligation and responsibility to be disciplined in what we say on the show. So with the vice president, when it comes to on the security matter, of course, yes. It is not in a good of the vice president. I mean, it already been said. But yeah, one of the things I want to say, most our people who are in position, they have not been going to training, and most of our leadership, we need orientation in certain position, where to speak, where to go as a this person, even down to the minister. We go for in-service training. We all go for in-service training where we are. And a job in this country, you go for, regardless who you are, you go for in-service training. Down to the president of the United States, they go for in-service training. People train them. They brief them. Mr. President, this is what you're going to say. This is your responsibility. This is what you're going to do. This is what our president or the chief of staff. This right here. These are the places. Because your level, even like somebody, I think one of you said it, or because of the money that he poured into the campaign. No, it doesn't matter what money put, even down to the janitor, the people who went the poo water in Sodium Wayne, what the Lane Street. Eh? That's important. It's not because of the money you put in, but because of the responsibility and obligation, and they trusted Mr. Boakai. They know Mr. Boakai will get into the best of this administration, and they felt that Mr. Boakai he experienced, the excellency he experienced, are going to trump Mr. Josh Weah administration. But like I said, it's the responsibility of the vice president, is the security and the press. And we as a press, there are certain information you got to ask the president and say, I'm going to publish this. Then they'll tell you, no, you can't publish it right now because of high security reason. We'll get back to you before you do your publication. So these are process people go through.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Thank you. Terry, let me come to you. I want to come to you from a Tabata perspective. Give me all the good Tabata you can give me tonight on that one. So what Jerry just giving us some from national security, but I will talk to you, and I want you to approach it from a political standpoint. What he did, what the vice president did, from a political standpoint, you think is the winning by people saying, well, he talking to common people, he can pick up phone anytime. This is very good for the vice president to do that. He can talk to anybody anytime. He's not proud. That will give him some sort of a higher approval rating with the common people. What say you on that, Matabata?
Yeah, it's real Tabata, but it hopes. Yeah, it's politically, the vice president can win sentiment from people who don't understand the legal ramifications of the involvement of the vice president in such and such a matter. Anyway, sorry, hi to the panel, Mr. So, and to Libra, and also to the security analyst and our senior brother, the minister, on tonight. The VP actually politically, our terrain, traditionally from our terrain and our traditional politics, it makes sense. What you just said makes sense. But the legal ramifications and the international community and all those that are watching will not make sense to them because it's complete tabata. The VP should not have answered the call. He should have allowed the phone to ring. Let people continue to speculate in the media that, oh yeah, there was a meeting, the president told Fonati to resign. The president had already told what her name, man. They get Kula Fofana to tell the people, say, I never told the man to resign. That is enough. Then the information minister will add it. But Stanton just woke up. That's why I say I didn't know that the people who from the forest, they don't have a strong traditional power. All the traditional bimo, that I want to say to come. So you want to tell me say the people from the seaside, they're more stronger than you? We who from the seaside. All the big boy y'all can be making your local people. Say, I want you to come. The big boy y'all can be making about traditional day. So that the seaside, that black boy, he just sit down on the radio and call the vice president of a whole country. And you just pick up the phone and start talking Tabata. You don't know that anything you say is a law as a vice president. What if you even making sense? There will be people that will twist it any kind of way, and if they twist it, they will be right. And that is what Fonati Kofa wanted you to do, to put all your 10 toes in your mouth. Never tell the man the truth. The man put his 10 toes in. He didn't put his foot in your mouth, he put his 10 toes in your mouth. See what I mean? As a vice president, you cannot just allow.
Oh, yeah, you call it. The show is on.
I can't remember what I was there. So when Say,
Yeah,
y'all no fear there. I
you
thought you say you get power because y'all Lofa and Nima people, y'all sort of be very strong. Y'all let one let ball from the seaside. Just sit down on a radio and call you in the middle of the net. You vice president pick up the phone and start talking about that. I don't understand because
Thank you.
the president, I mean the VP better blunder last night. If he said all of what he said, politically, traditionally, our people will not see it to be anything, but from the educational community of our society and the international tradition for protocols for protocol. You as a vice president cannot be on the radio telling the republic that you had a meeting with the speaker, knowing that there is an impasse. What does that implicate? That you guys are trying to remove the man. That why me anything the speaker say, whether he lying or he not lying, everybody in the country will believe him.
But
Thank you.
Kofa know
And
that one.
Thank you.
Kofa
I
know
do,
that
I
one.
do.
Let me come to you.
Terry,
But I got to run. I got to
sorry,
run.
I'm not.
I'll be listening. I'm coming
No,
back.
Terry, don't run, please. Just
No, I'm
1
coming
minute.
back. Go pick up my daughter. I'm coming back.
No,
I will
Terry,
join you.
just
Terry,
1 minute.
Terry, go. They marry English. That's you know how to pay power to now.
Stay back. The format
I'm
regular.
coming back. I'll be listening. I'm coming back, Jenna.
Okay, all
Oh,
right,
join
Terry.
her.
Terry,
But,
thank you. Let me
Mr.
come to you,
Toe,
Mr. Smith. Let
yeah,
me
Mr.
come to you
Toe.
before I go to say thank you very much, and I also want to congratulate you on this wonderful picture here. You guys did well. We're all proud of you. Thank you very much. As a husband, if you nurture these things and water it good, as young as you are, and to have these kinds of things coming out of your house, we're very proud of you. Thank you very much. But the next time I come over there, the last time I talking that you are talking to.
Don't make Mr. Soka sit down here. The last time you were here, you can I never been to the house several times. I ate the beginning.
What are you jealous? You want to play from where California to go eat in Minnesota? Wow.
Let me go to Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, thank you.
It was just an interjection.
Yeah. But anyway, let me
My
come to you,
last-
Mr. Smith. Let me come to you. You're in Liberia still. I know you probably listened to the conversation yesterday, and you have heard from the. You see, one thing I like about you, you hear a lot of stuff up here, you hear a lot of stuff up down here, you hear a lot of stuff in the middle. I'll give you an example. You're way up there, where you are. I'm not going to call the people. You're in the middle. In the middle, that people like us who are all over the country, and people, oh, Vida Smith, and down here are people who work daily, and you know them, so you can hear a lot. But let me come to you, Mr. Smith, on a very serious note. What are you hearing about this conversation yesterday? Is it benefiting the vice president?
No, I just told you that the vice president can just pick up phone and come on national, international radio without any preparation. That was an error on his part. But what made it much more the way it is, he showed all his hands. And Kofash, you have known by this time that this government has ganged up against him. And no matter how we twist it, they just don't want to see in the room. So he should exit. What the vice president said was a clear indication that, hey, Mr. Kova, we're not for you. Go. And he said it clearly. So I don't know why people will keep thinking that the government is not against Kofa. I don't know. Maybe you guys are seeing something over there, but from all levels of indication, all discussion I'm having, they don't want to see him there. And that's not the first time he's meeting. He met with the president himself. And there were discussions. He met with the Putin behind the scene. There were discussions. He met with some of the top people in the cabinet. There were discussions. Why is he still fighting? So I think it's just a waste of time and money. The government is willing to violate the constitution at all costs to get Kofa out, period. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me come to you, Mr. Goya, Sisi, and good evening. Thank you for joining us anyhow. You can speak to this or speak to any other thing that is on your mind. What is happening in Liberia with the vice president conversation and the speculation of the president and his political party involvement and everything else that's going on? Is that something that you can commonly point to here in the United States or any other part of the world as a strong politician? Politics is your second nature, and you have followed a lot of politicians. You have followed a lot of political activity all over the world. Have you seen something like this before, or is that something that is not that common?
It happens a lot on Twitter during the Trump administration. It happened a lot on X. It happened a lot from Mar-a-Lago. It's happened a lot with the president firing the FBI director on Twitter in America. It's happened a lot on Meet the Press. It's happened a lot on Fox News Sunday. It's happened a lot on National Public Radio, and it's happened a lot everywhere. People are trying to make a lot out of nothing. For the vice president of the Republic of Liberia to appear on one of the media network that is the equivalent of a Fox a media giant in the U.S. and people running around saying the man should not have done that. I think people are trying to read something out of nothing. Absolutely something out of nothing. Look, there was a post about 6 or 7 days ago, accredited to Mo Ali. Well, and it went unchallenged by the speaker, by the Kofa people, that Kofa had reached out to Yombly and to DeLong and to the Minister of Justice, the Minister of State, and to the Vice President to intervene. Okay? So for folks to say that the Vice President appearance on Spoon is a clear indication that they don't want Kofa, the Justice Minister has opined, has interpreted the way the ruling of the Supreme Court is going to be enforced. And that interpretation is that Fonati is no longer speaker. So the Vice President, who is second in line, should not follow that. He should come by and still pretend like we still supporting Fonati. How would that make sense? In what world would that make sense? The executive has decided that the interpretation of the Justice Minister is the way they're going. The Vice President is the second in command in the executive. Why are people making a whole lot out of nothing?
Thank you. Thank you. Let me come to you, Mr. So. Your argument has been, and let me quickly come to you here. Oops. Okay. Let me come to you, Mr. So. Sese is suggesting that yes, these things happen all over the world, and in particular what the Vice President has done here, it is not in isolation. He doesn't see anything wrong with it. And I on the other hand, think there's a huge issue with that, and because it shows that perhaps as a vice president to equally pick up the phone and start diving into a discussion that perhaps you have not had, from my perspective, perhaps you have not had inside knowledge of what it is, because he keep asking, what are we talking about? Or you brought me on the radio, what are you talking about? That means he didn't have an inside knowledge. But let me come to you, Mr. So, before I go on expressing my own say. Sise is saying that this thing is about nothing. Let's move on. What say you, sir?
No, it's about something. But there are two schools of thoughts out there with respect to those who giving their own interpretations, not looking at the bigger picture in the world, And I do agree. We saw our men, Cummings, were on the training when the president fired him, all of that. But this one was kind of a little bit different. National government has already taken the positions being interpreted by the Minister of Justice, who is the legal counsel to the government. I have no doubt that the vice president is, to say the vice president is not aware. What we are saying, when you have multiple people speaking, and those were some of the things that we frown on, it doesn't mean that the vice president can't speak or the vice president. Of course, every politician likes to face a bigger news outlet because they want their message to go to straighten the thing. But in an interim, you have to be prepared for something. But there is a missing link here. My point here in the whole thing here, Mr. Witherspoon is doing everything possible to be the deal breaker within the media industry, which of course we can give it to him to be. Part of that is to validate his network, not just only yesterday, but it can be tomorrow, it can be after, to say, look, and to also add a high level of gravity to his news, whatever information coming out from his news. You will not even question it. Even if it is not true, people will not question it. Because the perception people is either, this man can be on a live program and just call on the vice president pick up phone, call on minister pick up phone. Anything comes out of him, whether it's true or not, whether anybody validate it, they will say it's true because of that sort of connection. Our concern that these are things, see the society that we live in today, very consequential in how people take and how people do things. So we are saying, if the government takes a position, why didn't he even reach out to the Minister of Justice for further clarification? Probably that was the best place to go. But what he was doing, he doing it to go beyond the borderline.
But Mr. So, I don't mean to interrupt. There was a specific case that was made by Musability, whereby Musability invoked the vice president name. So I don't see Witherspoon going to just
let me put your trust on it. Let me put your trust on it. I wouldn't, if it were in my case, if I bring in the guest, you don't create a conflict in the national conversation, the non-crossfire program. If somebody come here and he does that most of the time, and people enjoys it. If I invite a guest here, minister or high-profile person, and that person says something about another person who is not on that program, I'm not going to take the phone instantly and call that person. Oh, this is what person is. You're not going to get anything out of it. You say, hey, I want to take notes, and I'm going to reach out to the other person to get their side of the story to make it much more equal or balanced. But
what you're talking about, that's the days of what's his name, Mike, what's his name, Mike, Chris Father. Those are the days of CBS 1950 something. Mike Wallace, and then Walter Cracker team. They're not today. Today is instant. Thank you very much. You tell your own. Let me go on to Jerry. Yeah, I don't care. They are not that kind of journalistic thing. You come in today. We talk about time. Call the vice president. The vice president. You know what? Yeah, okay. I'll buy chicken soup right now. Come on, let me Mr. So. I beg you.
Why you bought okra in the soup? Now why send a man to go swallow GB midnight? See, you want
Liberia.
You gave me that GB swallow, right?
Let me go.
Yeah, Mr. So, something too.
Yeah.
Sissy just said something that the remarks of the vice president, because it happens everywhere, so it was not a matter of an issue. But Sissy forgot to know that this man represents the Republic of Liberia, and coming to public glare, he should be prepared. I don't think he was prepared enough to have spoken. If he had read the question and what Witherspoon wanted to get out of him, he would have declined the talk. But what he said clearly shows his hand that what he's accused of is part and parcel of this whole thing. That's why we were talking about, Mr. Sisi.
Thank you.
I
Thank
think
you. We'll come to you. We'll
no,
come
no, no,
to
no.
you.
No,
We'll
it's
come to you.
unfair because
We
you
will
asked me
come
a
to
specific
you. We
question.
will come to you. We got
Okay,
rules
because
here.
my question was specific. I don't think
Yeah,
people
I
understand
know.
my
We will
question.
come to you. We'll come to you. Just hold your peace. Hold your peace.
Man, a dictator, he's extending his tentacles on you, Sisi.
You know that. They know the rule. They know the liberal is in here.
Understand that.
Yeah,
We've been suffering that before you came.
and I'm running 2020 now, so you'll be ready. But let me come to you, Jerry, on a very serious note. Jerry, let me come to you. You heard Cisse, you heard Mr. So, and then Mr. Smith seemed to be pretty much in the middle. That yes, indeed, these things happen, Mr. Smith would say. But however, the context and the person that is speaking is a different issue. Let me come to you, Jerry. Again, do us a favor, wrap it around the security, national security issue. You can still express yourself freely, but it must end with a national security implication. Please help us out.
Yeah, like I said before, all these things, once the vice president, the speakers, the minister of defense, the justice minister speak, it got a lot of implication because these are the people who really run the country, and they had to make the decision. There's a distinction here. That's why my brother says it. If the vice president had called to the show to make clarity, it's different than the calling to talk on the issue. That's a two different things. I mean, people do it all the time.
Yes.
People do it all the time. The president, you know, the Secretary of Defense can call. Then he want to make clarity. Compare, they call him and say, "This is what we want you to do with clarity." That's a two distinction right there. So, if the vice president had called because of the show or what he alleged about him in that discussion, yeah, he can do that and say, okay, this is what I want to do because he have a thought and put all his thoughts together, and I want to make clarity on the issues that have been discussed to make a clarity. Comparing to the host call him and say, this is what going on. We want you to make a clarity. And he fall into it. There's a big difference. You know,
Thank
I mean,
you. Is that it,
yes,
Mr.
sir.
Co-host?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, he's a co-host. Let me come to you, Sisse, and I know Victor is listening. That's why the camera, we're not going to turn it up. But go ahead, Sisse.
But yeah, no, I think I want to make a clarification that my question that you asked me was, has that happened anywhere else that I know of with my political hat? And I just pointed to you about somebody in the FBI. You're thinking a speakership has more political implication than the head of the FBI getting fired on Twitter. Then I don't think you understand the strength of the American political bureaucracy. But having said that, the question was direct about has it happened, not about whether he was ready or whether the questions that came to him was the right questions to answer. I was answering a direct question. Now, without being in a room to find out whether the vice president had been prepped or not, I can't opine on that. There are some people who are just bad at interviews. We know that. There are some people who are just bad at interviews. Doesn't mean.
So let me push you. Let me push you, Sisse.
No, but
Let me push you.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, co-host.
No, but if you listen to the interview, he said, when Stender called him, he was like, he put me on the spot. He was not prepared. The question I came was surprising to him.
So, Mr. Barker.
Yes, sir.
If the man has been in security briefings, he had been a part of the briefing before when the justice minister briefed them before coming out. Then he probably understood everything. It was just like, was he ready? Was he in his readiness to speak? That's why he said, you can call me on anything about math. Now, someone may put me on the spot right now. Doesn't mean I don't know the math. You better ask me.
My man, you're driving.
Have that conversation.
Yeah,
let me bring him back, Terry. I know you're packed. When you're ready to leave, when you're ready to drive, let us know so we'll cut you off, please.
I like that. I like Terry posting here for me. I'm not going to respond to it because half the time, sometimes I like for the conversation to be about the actual substance. To say that the speakership It's the separation of power issue. I think the interpretation of the Supreme Court ruling has already dealt with that. If you are the vice president of the Republic of Liberia and you are the second in command, and your group have already said, based on the interpretation of our legal guy, the justice minister, this is the way we go. For them, there's no longer a conversation that this case is settled, that Falatu Kofa is representative. He's not speaker. That
So let me push you a little bit on this.
So you can disagree with all that, but the executive branch of government has made their bed.
Let me push
no.
you.
Listen, I got no quarrel. I got no quarrel. I got no quarrel with that.
Terry posting in here because sometimes left for
let me push you a little bit before you address this. Before you address Jerry. So Jerry, I want to push Sissy a little bit on this. Sissy, again, put on your political cap if you don't mind. If you were advising the vice president and say you and him together at that particular setting, and such a call comes in, and that you know about it, what would have been your advice?
Again, they don't pay me for that. But I will tell you this:
speculation has been the backbone of my show.
I know.
So you are quite welcome to speculate.
I will tell you this: from the genesis of Speaker Kofa's speakership problem, there have been a lot of direct accusations on any windows about the vice president being the architect and being the financier of the entire process. And so if the vice president wanted to speak on that issue, if I were his advisor, I would have urged the vice president to have a press conference, a press briefing at his offices where he is in his element, where he's exuding the power and authority of the vice presidency, where he has his publicity folks, whether they are his communication team, they are there and they are guiding and teleguiding the process. That is what I would have done. But I don't want his office simply because he did something differently. For me, the question that I was answering was not whether he was prepared or not. Now I wanted Victor to understand was not whether the answer he gave it was right or wrong, right? The question I was asked directly to me was, has there happened anywhere before for a vice president to pick up a phone and do such interview? And I said, yes, it's happened before. That was the question I was answering.
Thank you.
The substance of it, I listened to it, and I'll be very truthful with you all. I listened to it, I didn't think he was speaking from a position of strength. Mm-hmm. You could tell that he was either slouching or laying back or relaxing when he was speaking. And everybody know, well, most people who've been through voice coaches and speakers, when you lay back that way to speak, your voice doesn't carry through. It doesn't carry through the energy and the power that you want to put out there. So I didn't get the power of.
So Sissy Goya.
Can I come in?
Jared, you gotta bet. Jared, you gotta move forward a little bit so your voice can take the authority of a co-host on this.
Can you hear me now? Is it clear?
No, exactly. No, not the camera. You yourself. You gotta. Sissy, you told us that you gotta bend forward.
No. Listen. Listen. Here's the thing. If the vice president going to have a press conference in regard to anything, it has to be approved by the executive manager. I'm going to have a press conference. This is what I'm going to talk about. And this.
You're just staying your security lane. We're talking about it right now. Stay in your security.
That is why he has a press secretary. That is why he has a press secretary.
Thank you,
as a security, it's all politics.
Thank you, gentlemen. Again, folks, if you're listening, Samson told I'm having fun here this evening. Mr. So is my guest. Mr. Jerry Backer, co-host.
Well, Terry on before Terry did not finish because data that live this time, LeBron. Terry, you call the
let me do my show. Let me do my show. Again, folks, Samson told Mr. So is my guest. Mr. Jerry Backer, my co-host. Terry Collins is also a guest. Sissy Goya is a guest. And our special guest this evening, Mr. Victor Smith, is engineer Victor Smith is here with us as well. And I want to thank all of you. Please continue to support us as we come out here. Jerry, there's no daylight between Jerry Backen and myself in terms of host and co-host. That we cannot say of the other. We have not seen the two people hosting and co-hosting for a very long time, and we will not. I believe most likely tomorrow going to be an interesting show. Oh no, not tomorrow, Wednesday. But I believe the co-host for the other side is back, and I think they're ready to pick up. But we'll be ready. But let me come to you, Terry, on a very serious note. Again, thank you very much. But when you're ready to pick up, please let us know so we can excuse you. We don't want you to drive while talking. Let me come to you. You spoke earlier, and your line of explanation, your line of engagement took on a little bit interesting tone. You did not speak from a political perspective. You did not speak from a security perspective. You spoke based on tradition and the traditional behavior of our leaders in Liberia. And you brought in the fact that what happened to our brothers and sisters from the West, they have been claiming over and over how powerful they are traditionally. And you question as to whether is it a fly or is it just something bluffing the bluffing or the real stuff? Terry, can you expand on that a little bit, please?
Is that one for me? And to
That
have
was
confusion.
Where
They
you
rock
think?
in one set. I will not follow.
You think I had to play the kumbaya? The kumbaya,
Yeah. So you are a Mr. Sona. But yeah, is it right, Libro? The reason why I want to differ with my senior brother Sissy is because Sissy is talking about an FBI that works completely in the confine of the will and caprices of the president. That is different from a speakership position that have to do with separate branch of government. Now, I have to say the meeting was an open meeting where everybody saw what was transpiring. Then it makes sense for the vice president to call in. All right. And it should not have been in the middle of the show, stand on Waterspoon, that pick the phone up and say, I will call the vice president and call the man immediately. Just a one lay ball on the side, or you talking to your girlfriend, you just call her in the middle of the night. What I'm saying is this, right? And that is what made it to look ugly. Uh, this is the speaker here we're talking about, and there's an impact. And
the
see,
former speaker.
no, it's not the senior brother sister said that I want to agree with you too that he's a former speaker. But at the time, the Senate had not yet recognized Rachel Kuhn. That time when that particular meeting was held, all right, and then the justice minister had also not interpreted yet. So we need to understand that this meeting was taking place after the Supreme Court ruling when everybody was claiming victory. So the speaker was not fully yet removed. So it makes it sinister to see the vice president under the cover of darkness having a meeting. And then the worst part about it, he was on the radio saying how that the elder, the traditional people call him and told him say he should support Musa Belete and he will support Musa Belete. When you operating in a separate branch of government, then you on public radio telling the world that you're going to support Musa Belete and everybody know the kind of influence you have. So what are you really insinuating? And you're talking about traditional people. That's why I say the CSA, you're allowing the CSA people to make fool out of you. Because from what I know, the people from Lofa County and Nima are very strong. You know, but for standing on Waterspoon to just pick up the phone and say,
You say, the poor for
say, Goya, please. Go ahead.
so just go and say, look, I will call the vice president, I'll call the vice president. And worst of all, labor, they see Stanton Waterspoon, man, criticize the vice president the day before, stating that the vice president and CNN Yo was seen at CNN Yo's daughter or opening ceremony of a children playground. He criticized the man for more than 1 hour. So I'm thinking, what happening to Joseph Bonka government? That you allow the labor to drag your entire government and you can't come to yourself. I don't understand it. So that is my position. You know, I don't want to go too deep. I felt very bad when that occurred. And probably it have happened before, but I don't think this is the right time for this kind of thing to be happening in our government.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Thank
Stanton
you.
Waterspoon
See, finish
is
game
not.
back. They show the thing over the put all this.
Thank
They put all
you.
the thing
Thank
outside.
you. Say Goya. Say Goya. Say Goya.
They got to give me a hard time.
Say
No,
Goya. You're 1%. I don't want to pack you in the garage.
Please get it right. 1.4. 1.4.
Okay.
Don't forget my
So 1.4. I don't want to pack you in the garage. Thank you, Terry. Thank you for wiggling your way out of where you started, because you know you have spent so many times in Lofa County, Nima County. You're the only person on this show that have gone through all 19 county of the Republic of Liberia. I say 19. Who will say that? Not true. By the way, let me go to Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, I don't want to say that it's late over there, because every time I say that, you always say that ain't your business. So we're getting
Mr. Toe, Mr. Toe, I'm on an early morning flight. I told you.
Oh, okay.
I'm on my way to the US, and I'm trying to
Stay up.
and not just staying up, I'm parking and also taking part in your show tonight.
Okay.
Are you coming with Ethiopia Airlines?
No,
I'm coming with Air Morocco.
Air Morocco.
Oh, I thought that was the Lone Star
new?
Airline 108. I thought I want you flying.
No,
No,
Air Morocco.
that is dead.
But let me come back to you, Mr. Smith. Let me come back to you. And again, like I said, you've been over there in on ground. What is the business atmosphere overall? Because you know other you know other people that are in business, not just engineering. You know people that will do wood carpentry. You know all of those people. How is the business atmosphere in Liberia right now?
I can say in one word, at this point in time, it doesn't favor us Liberian business people. In the sense that we don't have the finances to compete with the foreign guys. And in fact, the business setting in Liberia has been willingly turned over to the foreigners. Even the foreigners are now selling sand. Where's the law of Liberianization? So we have to fight back. And again, we will depend on our elected officials and appointed officials to lead the way. So we have conversations behind the scene that the 25% Liberianization that was agreed upon to be energized and be much more practical. So that is things we are talking. When it comes to availability of finances, because that is the lifeline that you depend on to keep moving on. It is not as available as you think it is. Now the interest rate in Liberia now for us business is around 14%. That is very high. 14% is very high. As compared to our other foreign nationals, they go out of the country and get as low as 3%. So competing with them is very difficult too. So behind the scene, we are now talking to people, so at least they can give us some incentives to improve the business atmosphere in Liberia. So in short, the playing field of the business sector in Liberia is not level between us and the foreign national. That would be the whole definition we'll put in.
So the business atmosphere in Liberia is not conducive for the Liberian businesses. Quite fair. The first question is, what are you as Liberian business organization, what are you guys doing to engage the government? And if in fact you are engaging the government?
We have the Liberian Business Association, LIBA, and that was the medium that we all thought to be using to get to government. But as we stay, it has been politicized. We have more problems in there more than meeting with the government. We have leadership crisis. We have a gentleman who's been there for so many years now and has taken over the organization as his own. So until we can solve that problem, it will not be an easy thing. So that's where we are with our localized, Liberian business organization that should be fighting for us. It has been politicized. So that medium is not there any longer. So we are now fighting for ourselves.
So one more question. Sensei, you have a question?
Yeah, I really wanted to ask because this is very important. It's
Go
good that we
ahead.
segue this way. So I've heard you talk about the liberalization policy not being fully implemented. I think even being just outrightly disrespected and just abridged. Councillor Gonglo last time talked about how several governments have not lived up to the constitutional requirements and the constitutional mandate, specifically with respect to empowering Liberians and that liberalization policy. We see that when it comes to just power, 3 speakers have been to the Supreme Court for the Supreme Court to give a ruling. How have you tried getting some of these people to sue and go to the Supreme Court and see if there is I know it won't be worth a lot, A, to see if there is a ruling, and B, regarding LIBA. A few years ago, I know LIBA has an American, a USA branch, and they were trying to partner. Is that collaboration still going on between LIBA USA and LIBA Liberia?
I have no clue. I have no clue what it says is, because LIBA now is a one-man show. So being just a member, I don't think that we have felt that. Secondly, if the legislator is the place to go first for these kind of things, and when you reach out to them, it's clear that they will not give you the support. They will say on the floor, but when they get behind the scenes, it's a different ball game. Because without any proof yet, we believe that some of these representatives and senators or lawmakers are agents for some of the foreigners. A case in point is SETI Brothers. SETI Brothers has the monopoly to manufacture steel, because I'm in the construction industry. That's why I picked that particular point. The sea has a problem. We have complained to Public Works, to the Bureau of Standards, but yet instead nobody hears. And in fact, the government went ahead to give them 10 years.
They are gonna excuse it.
Okay. All right, Terry. Thank you. Terry, you're going to join us later, I hope.
10 years of duty-free. That they can bring in anything they want to bring in.
10 years?
SETI Brothers manufactures cement. They are also distributing cement. They also have a batch plan. And one time I went to SETI Brothers, and right in the open, I told Paul, Paul SETI, I said, you are very greedy. You won't take everything. He's manufacturing zinc. He's manufacturing zinc nail. He's not doing household items. Help me, God. When you reach to the lawmakers and tell them that the guy is violating, and then protecting you, they turn on you. So this require a collaborative effort from our institution, La LIBA. But LIBA has not turned to be a political institution.
So again,
so
Mr. Smith, thank you for that. But then again, you are not a small potato. You've been around. You know most of these players. Are they all not seeing what you're seeing, or just because you, Victor Smith?
I'm not a mind reader, but I can see in the actions that they understand what I explained to them and what I'm asking of them. But in its practical sense, the dollar rules at the end of the day. That's the dollar rules at the end of the day. When the door is closed and I'm gone, and Paul SETI calls, or Jetty calls or Mawan calls from city builders, that's the end of the game, bro. You really don't have people who can stand up in this country for this country and its citizens. No.
So one last question, and I want you to be political now. 2029, where you throwing your hat behind home? Even you yourself gonna be in there, or where you gonna throw your hat?
At this point in time, we are in consultation and planning that we might think of otherwise.
Is it gonna be the gentleman we were invited to? Don't call his name, please. We were invited at one time to. Hold on,
Mr.
So
To,
how you
Mr. To,
ask
what
the
made
man
you think?
question? They ain't say don't call me.
What kind of man is this?
Yeah, Mr. To, what made you think I'm not qualified enough to be president of Liberia?
Okay, but yeah, I know you are, but I'm just asking you.
But
When you
what
say
made you think, what made you think I can put myself ahead to be president of this country?
all right, okay. Let's forget that subject matter.
I
Let
told
me
you
ask
we're
you.
in consultation with people, and I think we should stop there.
Okay, all right, we'll stop right there. I agree. But let me let me ask you.
Mr. So,
Can
you
you
see what the,
Mr. Smith, can you ask me a question, please?
For what?
yes. Why are you throwing your political hat in 2029 too?
Will you continue? No, the question is, will he, Samson, to continue to blow the trumpet of Joseph Boyka?
Mr. So, I'm running the show. You're not the one. I'm not on witness stand. So let me go to Jerry. Take Mr. Smith before I go to Jerry though. I know Liberia. You know, when you get out of Liberia, some of us want you to stay out of there for maybe 2-3 months, but it's just difficult for you to do. And I know that you're going to be traveling here very shortly. Now, with that said, Mr. Smith, let me ask you this again. With current political situation in Liberia, how do you see this country going within the next 4 to 5 years under this administration?
For now, I haven't seen whether there will be a change of direction. It will be the same old, because the cartel has taken over the country, and Joseph Boyka doesn't have the strength to break this cartel. And because of that, I'm not that positive that there will be any major change.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Thank you. Thank you on that sad note. But we're here. Let's go to Jerry. And Jerry, oh, you here?
What, you don't want Mr. So to speak?
I'm not supposed to hear, so why? Okay, go ahead. But wait, let me ask Mr. Smith. I know you're traveling, and right now the security situation in Liberia. There's a demonstration coming out tomorrow. I know it's already in the morning, and I know he's going to be traveling.
You will be out of there by the time before they start.
It will be that demonstration. It will be 20 people with 15 motorbikes.
What is it?
Then they will go regroup.
Okay, sir. What is the atmosphere right now on ground? I know they are not broken in Liberia, but I know if the security matter is, if things are going on, you will know by now. I know you're in your house. What is the situation, or what is the atmosphere on the ground right now as we speak?
Even though I'm in the house, but I think it's calm. I don't see, because I came from work late today, I didn't see a lot of movement of security forces. But again, I asked myself the question, what is the significance of the demonstration? What is it that the demonstrators want to prove? Rule of law, or what? I think it's just a way of crippling the economy more tomorrow, that people will be panicking and businesses will not move because of demonstration. Look, the Kofa issue is a done deal. Kofa leave this thing and go away. start inciting people, because you will win at the legal point, at the legal phase of this particular problem. He will win, but politically he won't win, and he must understand that. Why demonstration at this point in time? He went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled in his favor, even though they tried to twist it. The rule in his favor, by right he won. The law said he is the speaker, he's the legitimate speaker. But the political section said, no, you are not. The political part of this whole episode has no rules. It has casualties. And Kofa is a casualty now. He must move ahead and leave this thing alone. But as for the security situation, it's calm. There will be people will panic tomorrow. Stores might be halfway open, but it will just be a matter of a few hours and they will go away. So I think, far as I'm concerned, it's calm.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Thank you very much. And let's go around the room and give our closing, so we'll be able to close on time. Mr. So, we'll start with you. And the co-host will take us home. Mr. So, what will be your closing 5 minutes? What? Mr. So, 2 minutes, please.
Mr. So, you in trouble.
Well, as usual, here is Jerry having a party here tonight, and
good. Your invitation is in the mail. Your invitation is in the mail.
You see there? You see there? So, well, it was a good conversation. We will continue to have this conversation. Like he said, the protest. You know what I've come to realize lately? I remember 1986, the demonstration taught me how most of the protests now more or less is like an exhibition. People bored, they don't have nothing, yay, just yellow, nothing. You don't see what really the demand. Your protestations must follow with a resolution, be presented. You have a tighter goal you want to meet, but I don't know what that has been happening in the past of lately. You know, people matching, the other one will be coming from Jometa. As soon as they hear people know it, they jump that group, everybody, and make a huge crowd. But the climax of the event is what you as an organizer, what do you hope to achieve? What is your target goal? That has not been happening. But we're going to watch and see what happens tomorrow, how well is coordinated, what their support routes. If they are presenting anything, to whom they're going to be presenting it to, what is the message contained in that. Now, but interestingly, it's while we were trying to go off on air, I'm not seeing what my share yet. I'll try to go through it. The tomorrow editions of front page here, the 1.1 per whatever 2% guy here. Liberia Alternative National Congress condemns misinterpretations of the Supreme Court opinions and illegal removal of Speaker Kofa. Well, I'm not a public relation guy, but this is kind of like an obituary, you know? And that's the sickening thing of our political institution. People got to bash them, you got to smash them before they can wake up and call. It doesn't mean opposition, you should be violent type or always like against, but you want to always be there to be heard, to make your voices, to speak out when the nation needs you. But all dependent parties, the only person you see being speaking here from day one onset is Councillor Tiawan Gonglo. He's been speaking out on different things, not even just only this one. But all the 555 political parties that took part, but again, our country, Liberia, is a different land by itself, more or less. When it comes to presidential election or thing, they have their own way, the electors have their own way to determine who to be president. So we always have this sort of obituary thing here. This is a guy who could possibly stand in the gap, not necessarily to be against government being doing things, but to always be visible where necessary, but they are missing in action.
Thank you.
You brought by apples, mixed them with it, with tire suffering, group them, all of those kind of things. You're not doing anything. I hope the counselor, this is a guy, very long history record of defending laws, rules of the country.
Land we brought in money, leave a pay peace back.
Thank you, Mr. So. Thank you very much. Sissy.
Liberal, thank you for being very biased and injustice on me tonight. Minister Smith saw that, Sissy see it. Jerry here, who I try to see more or less moderate.
You were tired. Good night. Thank you. Now, let me bring in Sissy Goya quickly. Sissy, go ahead. 2 minutes.
He might not even come to be a witness. We listen, we don't judge.
Exactly. We got majority black.
Majority black in here. Our 1.4%, we are not majority. My mate, our broom said a straw 49, we got to post on by his side. But anyways, look, man, I actually came on the show because I saw Victor Smith. I saw that, he's an engineer, and I followed him quite a few times before. I have a lot of interest in people who do like technical work. So it hurts my heart, when you talk about, we can put all the other politics and joke around, but what hurts my heart is when we talked about the banking sector and the availability of funds to Liberians. We keep saying we want people to lift themselves up. And a strong middle class is a strong economy, because the middle class holds the economy. And in order for you to have a middle class, you have to have the likes of Victor Smith. I had some business interest in Liberia before Victor. We went through the same thing, trying to bid for technology at World Bank. Give us the stuff, but people wanted us to give them certain percentages because we couldn't give it to them. They gave it to a Lebanese guy who then wanted to subcontract it to us, even though we were going to do the bulk of the work. And so even when you go to the local banks to try to get loans, the things they ask of you is way more than what they ask of the foreigners. And so people leaving Liberia to come and get loans and go back to Liberia affects our banking system in a lot of ways. So it really hurts my heart when I see people like you who stay in Liberia, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean that in like a really honorable way, that people like you who stay back in Liberia to say we all can't leave this country. So some of us got to stay here and help build. To hear you talk about the difficulty of just trying to compete in your own country is just flat out wrong. What happened yesterday, it should not be happening today, and there can be no excuse for that. So. I wish you well. I hope when you're in the U.S. we can connect. But I actually came up.
No, we're not going to connect. Let you connect with Mr. So.
It wasn't because of Terry and Papa. I actually came up.
I'm sure we'll connect with Mr. So.
Let you connect with Mr. So. Let's leave him alone.
I sure will connect with Mr. So, Mr. To.
Right.
I told you he's my best friend, and you are just my friend. He's my best friend.
Okay. I hear you. Okay, I hear you. Let me see, we're a friend now. Or you see him again? He gone.
I will still call you telephone. Put him back on, man. Mr. So, I like this guy. He's very calm.
Yeah. What?
He's not vindictive. Because if
you want for us to release somebody behind the scene, we've been recording it. They had a 5% of recording. When I release somebody may recording, you would take that thing back, Victor.
No,
if I release somebody thing, they may not.
The man with me like
no, I thought about you.
The man planning to beat
now
me.
go to the majority black.
All right, Mr. Smith, let's hear your closing. Let's hear Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Well, Mr. Smith.
Jerry, let Victor go ahead, and then you will take us home.
All right, good. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Again, I can wave my congratulations flag higher for you guys. To get us informed or get our people informed in the U.S. is a very big tax that you guys have taken on. Even though we're on the ground, but with the information you are sending out, it means we are getting good results, maybe at the president level and sometimes at the general level. So I want to thank you again for all the opportunity. I'll be in the U.S. by tomorrow evening, by today's evening, by God's grace. And I wish to hang up with you guys again so that we can talk more about Liberia. You know, one thing I've always asked us, and that question remains unanswered, though, and maybe you guys can think about it too. Maybe I might be maybe too abstract about it. But I ask myself, does Liberia as a nation have a national agenda for development that span over 20 years, 40 years, 50 years? I think that is lacking in our country. Because if we had such an agenda, we will follow through as from administration to administration, but we don't have it. Now, since Ellen time, we've been having this middle class stuff and just being fragmented. So I'm hoping, it has been my hope that Joseph Walker being a legacy government, Joseph Walker being a legacy government, I hope they can start such a thing. And in that agenda, there must be wealth creation, that the issue of tax return to the common people will be something that they can inscribe into that particular agenda so that you can build wealth. And the issue of buying shares into national entities like Metal Steel, all these big multinational corporations coming in here, open up shares for Liberians to buy so you can build wealth. I think if we do all of these things, we'll develop our country, other than the people just coming, just taking. Look, MAE Gold took over $100 million gold out of Liberia in 2023. How much did Liberia get? 3%, which is on a maybe 30 or 40,000. That is unfair to our people and to ourselves. So I think we can start looking in this direction and hoping that this government will do better. If they don't do it, then it means that we are doomed then. I don't have anything else to say after this government. So I want to thank you again for the opportunity for showcasing your professionalism on these shows, and we'll continue to support you while we're on the ground. Thank you very much again, Mr. So, and thank you, Samson, and thank you, the rest of the brothers.
When it comes to Alfonso, that Mr. So, when it comes to me, that Samson too.
What
Okay.
problem?
But you better
Yeah, what you mean? What my problem?
But you better call your knee. Me and Jerry, just call the rest of the brothers.
That's all right. That's all right. You know what? That doesn't matter.
I know, but Victor, I've always been a little bit conservative. But anyway,
Thank you. Thank you, Minister, for coming. I enjoy you. The first time you appear, this is the third time interacting with you. The first time you came, you spoke eloquently about who started the genesis of the worker movement, and today who are insulting one. So I really enjoy you. I talked to Mr. Told to bring you back on. Found out that you came, but something that bothered me, I always say on the show, two things are going on in our country and it's not being addressed, and hopefully we'll address it in the future. Where color crime and organized crime that's the one that's killing us in our country. Because the brown envelope passed, and there's nobody trained to do this thing. Yeah, what happened today? I listened to Frank, how do you call it, Sakoko, Frank Sakoko. If I pronounce his name.
Safoko.
Safoko. Okay,
Safoko.
He talked
He
about.
confessed today, right?
Thank you. There were 25,000 given to him, 50,000. It went out to $100,000. But here is that you, as a sitting representative, is such a thing. It was not reported to the national security, or to the when I talk about national security, the police or whatever.
Jerry, let me disagree with you quickly.
Hold on.
You want this man to report it to this government?
I thought the man closing already now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, we the other brothers. The man closing on behalf of us. We the other brothers.
Fire in the hole. Fire in the hole. The holes and cold hole. I mean, let's talk.
Jerry, go ahead.
So this thing is kind of spoiled the future of our country for certain representatives. The only way our country will move forward, we need the rule of law to prevail, no matter what it is. Even if the Supreme Court make a decision and say, Mr. A, you're wrong. Mr. B, let's work together. The Supreme Court has spoken. But the thing here is we don't have people who are specialized in the crime that have been committed. What you just articulated just now, it's a violation of businesses. How can a one person come and monopolize the whole system? Where is the Minister of Justice or the Minister of Commerce that just gave one person the latitude for this thing? In America, they call it RICO. So, my dear brother, I understand your frustration. Some of you who on ground, you're doing your best, especially business people. But the brown envelope is killing us.
Yeah.
The brown envelope
True.
is killing us. The brown envelope is killing us. And until we can find somebody, the Solicitor General, the Minister of Justice, to have these agencies that will be responsible to prosecute people, and the court system, we will have confidence in our court system, our judicial system. That's one of the things. The credibility of the judicial system has been questioned by the citizen. That's all we have. If you must have our dispute, what do we go to settle our dispute? It's the court.
Yeah.
And we have some doubt in the court, then we are doing. Thank you. Safe trade. When you get here, we'll be in touch. Have a safe trade. Good night.
Thank you, guys.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Victor. We'll be looking forward to seeing you.
And you are not the other guy. You are not the other brother. You are Jerry Sissy.
Minnesota, you can't drink beer.
On behalf of the other guys, we wish you a safe flight.
No,
when's the party? When's the party so we can come? When's the party so we can come?
Okay, guys. Good night.
Good night, guys. Good night. Victor will be looking forward to.
Congratulations to the madam. Why are you moving, man?
Mr. So, I'm running the show. Let me say this again. Mr. So, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, Mr. So. Again, folks, Samson told Labra Public Radio, the man who's running the show here tonight. I want to thank all of you. Ma Esther, thank you. Fatima, thank you. Gabriel, thank you. Guys, thank you very much for your participation tonight. We couldn't make a call, take a call tonight, but we'll do so tomorrow. I want to thank all of you again. Let me put this out again for the last time on this show, and hopefully we say congratulations to Madam Goya for her achievement. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to see the young lady with her family and still be able to achieve what she has achieved. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Again, folks, Samson told Labra Public Radio, I want to thank you all, and I will say good night to all of you. Tomorrow again, we'll be back here to have a conversation with you. Let us continue to pray for one another and say thank God for this beautiful day. Let's pray to God. Let's ask God for more strength and long life. Again, we'll say thank you and good night, folks.
Thank you.